This was their editorial today. Mr. Trump was too undisciplined and his attention span too short to stay on message, much less stage a coup. In supporting Trump, the Wall Street Journal's editorial position is he's...
What's going on, you guys? Today we have Tim Miller calling out Megyn Kelly and Ben Shapiro. Tim Miller today is saying that Megyn Kelly and Ben Shapiro, they wouldn't have their kids in the school if it was run by a principal who sort of had the same personality or was the same person as Donald Trump. If he was the principal of that school, he's saying that they wouldn't even have their kids in there. And we have Megyn Kelly and Ben Shapiro, just looking stupid and wanting to have a rebuttal. But let's get into the clip, this first clip.
These are the stupidest smart people in the world. And it's only in the context of politics where somebody as smart as Ben Shapiro would take a risk such as this on Donald Trump, right? In their personal lives, they would never put their kids in a school where somebody like Donald Trump was the principal of the school. They would never do that, right? If there were two options and there was like a normal center-left kind of woke liberal running one school, and there was an insane madman sundowning running the other school, saying random shit all the time, they would always go in the woke liberal school every time. All of these people, they're only doing this in the context of politics. It is an unbelievable risk. And the Wall Street Journal this morning, if you don't mind, I pulled this one up. These are supposed to be the intelligent conservatives. This was their editorial today. Mr. Trump was too undisciplined and his attention span too short to stay on message, much less stage a coup. In supporting Trump, the Wall Street Journal's editorial position is he's too stupid to coup, so we're going to roll with it. That is insane. He's going to be older than Biden. At the end, he's going to be older than Biden. We're going to have this elderly man with only crazy people around him in charge at age 82. Who would take this risk? No matter, even if you did agree with the policies or whatever, it is a ludicrous risk to take, and all of these supposedly smart people have lost their mind to go along with it.
So right here we have Tim Miller talking about Megyn Kelly and Ben Shapiro, and he's providing, a little bit of criticism, but he's really criticizing Trump. He's saying that Trump is going to be about 82 years old by the end of his term, which is older than Biden currently right now. And, we see that age does take a time. No matter how much you think that this guy is a savior or this guy is a genius, age plays a part, as we can see even with Joe Biden. He is not the same as he was in 2012. I don't believe that he's one of these people that is a clone. I don't believe they've cloned Joe Biden, but I do believe that he's gotten older the same way that I believe that Trump is going to get older and that he's going to get maybe a little bit slower and maybe a little bit more delusional as time goes on. And his delusional is a little different. He's crazy and delusional. It's not just like a senile, confused delusional. This is like this is more, or not a dementia delusional, but this is like a senile, like might hit you with a cane delusional. And I think that's what Tim Miller is saying. And he calls out Megyn Kelly and Ben Shapiro and is saying that if this guy was the principal of your kid's school, you might not have the kids in this school. And he provides a juxtaposition of a center leftist, not of a far leftist, which it seems like Megyn Kelly, she responds right here. She says, "Hey, Tim Miller, a simple Google search would have told you the woke leftist teaching our kids in NYC were the reason we pulled them and moved to a non-woke schools in Connecticut. Maybe do your homework before you bring my kids into it. By the way, why don't you ask Doug Emhoff about the abuse allegations?" And now Doug Emhoff, those abuse allegations, we do not condone them of any sort. That was before he turned a Democrat. But the schools in Connecticut, I can only have a hard time that they are so far right. Whenever Connecticut is a freaking blue, it's a blue state. How is it going to have, if you were really talking some shit, Megyn Kelly, say that you're putting the kids in school in Louisiana or in the South. How about that shit? You say you put in I would never put my kids in a non-woke school. I put them in the schools in Connecticut. Really, it sounds like a center. Connecticut's a blue state, Megyn Kelly. I don't know if anybody's ever told Megyn Kelly this at all. But yeah, that's her response right there. And Tim Miller goes on to provide he says, kind of missing the point, you know it, but I'm sure they'll be enrolling in Trump U any day now. Just a little bit back and forth, a little bit of banter. But yeah, this is just this is their back and forth, and we can see that Tim Miller is talking and wanting to get a point across, but Megyn Kelly really isn't listening. Here's another clip of Tim Miller absolutely destroying J.D. Vance and all the MAGA stooges out there.
horrible.
Yeah.
But you know, half the country is like, that's the way we all talk. We don't watch our P's and Q's.
I also get a little annoyed about the constant media criticism of the mainstream media. This is a fair criticism, but it's like, it's coming oftentimes from people who are like, frequent viewers of the Jesse Waters show or whatever. You know what I mean? Like there's a whole right-wing MAGA like it's not 1984, right? Where there are only 3 networks, and if they're if they're biased, if Dan Rather is telling you something that's wrong, that's like a really big deal that he's biased because 60 million people are watching Dan Rather. It's like as many people like are watching daytime MSNBC as are watching primetime Newsmax, right? So it's like. You know what I mean? So obsessing over the criticism, right? So obsessing over the criticism of it, I just sometimes think is a little overkill.
So J.D. Vance said teens are purposely becoming trans to get into elite colleges.
What's that?
Well, it is. I don't think that's how. I don't think that's why teens are becoming trans. But
wow.
Just to throw it all on the table, I'm not so sure that elite colleges don't want trans, possibly more than they want people who are not trans. I mean, that's just where the far left is. But I don't think they're purposely doing that. He also said that he wouldn't be.
What's his plan for the White House on that? Interfering?
I have no idea.
What's the Trump-Vance administration going to do?
Is there like one case of that?
Of course not. But he said, J.D. Vance said he wouldn't be surprised if he and Donald Trump get the normal gay guy vote. You know.
Yeah.
You know, guys who fuck women. You know, the normal gay guys.
I think what J.D. Vance means by a normal gay guy vote is the guy who has a blank profile on Grindr, who's messaging, who's messaging actual out gay guys. I think that probably is a Trump supporter.
All right, I got to go to Vegas. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
So there we have it. We have Tim Miller really calling out Trump's fan base even more, just sort of giving them a little bit of a 1-2 punch, saying that, talking about J.D. Vance's saying that it's only they really have a good grip on the normal gay guys. The normal gay guys are going to vote for Trump and J.D. Vance. It's going to be all the freaks and the ones, you know, that wear dresses and, I think that might be J.D. Vance and the ones that fuck couches and yeah, my bad. I think I just keep on saying things about J.D. Vance. But, yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. This is Tim Miller. You know, he's sort of calling out Megyn Kelly. He's definitely calling out Megyn Kelly and Ben Shapiro. And Megyn Kelly responded, I believe Ben Shapiro has still not said anything just yet. But, yep, tune in next time, you guys. It's another day in the progressive way.